What is going on, everyone? Welcome to my first episode of my YouTube channel. I'm very excited to be joining you guys on this journey, and I hope you guys like my content. It's going to be all sports, baseball, basketball, football, not really hockey, not the biggest hockey fan, to be honest. So sorry to all you hockey fans out there. But anyway, today's video will be on the NFL playoffs. I'm just going to predict the games. It's going to be short, sweet for the first one. Just show you guys what I got, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's get going. I'm just gonna go right into it. And also, before I get into this, follow me on Instagram at RD Sports Blogs. We got some content coming out. I have my articles posted on there, as well as sports updates. I have polls on my story, as well as predictions I make, just like I'm going to be doing on here for now on. Also, follow me on TikTok at Richie Dordas, Dordas. If you know me, you know my name. Should come up on the bottom. Thank you to Zoom for letting me do this and have this type of ability to, stream myself and, post this and share it with people around the world. And hopefully you guys enjoy it as well, obviously. Follow my podcast at The Sports Bible with me and my friend Rob Green. We talk about mostly basketball on that podcast, but we're going to talk about baseball as well soon. And without further ado, let's start this episode with our NFL predictions. Okay, so without further ado, let's start our episode of our NFL predictions. I'm going to go through every game, pick our Super Bowl winner, comment your Super Bowl winner below, who you think is going to win. Also, if you agree with my picks and whatnot. All these advertisements coming up, kind of annoying. Stop seeing this. Whatever. Okay, so let's start. We're going to do Patriots Bills first. That's first. That's the night game on Saturday, I believe. Yes, night game on Saturday. So, is that the night game on Saturday? Comment below if that's the night game on Saturday. I am not 100% sure. But anyway, I'm going to go with the Bills here. I think that the matchup isn't great for the Patriots. They have to win in one way. I will say, though, if Josh Allen throws a couple of picks in the first quarter, then it's going to get ugly fast. And it'll be tough for them to, bounce back and, beat a Patriot team that feeds off of leads and running with the ball, like the Titans in a way. Just Titans a little more. I trust Tannehill more than Mac Jones. So it's gonna be cold. Buffalo's home. Buffalo's probably got the better offense. Defensively, it's gonna be a good battle, like Bills offense versus Patriots defense. I will say that, but I just think Josh Allen. You take the quarterbacks when it's like a coin flip. So Josh Allen over Mac Jones. And an impressive win for Sean McDermott, to say the least, because beating Bill Belichick in the playoffs as an underdog, it's very, very peculiar to have Belichick as an underdog. But since Brady's gone now, you know, anything's possible, and Bills get this win. Okay, moving on. We got Raiders Bengals. This is the first game of the weekend. If you would have told me one of these teams was going to the second round of the playoffs before this year started, I would have called you crazy. I am a Browns fan, so AFC North, I see the Bengals all the time. They're a very fun team to watch. Their offense is very, potent. That's a good word to put for it. And I think that they're just going to overpower the Raiders. The Raiders had a very emotional win, to say the least. And if you have those type of wins, it's hard to convert that in week to week to week, especially for a playoff game. And especially they played Sunday night, they have less rest, they got to travel. So I'm going to take the Bengals here. I think that just the star power that the Bengals have on offense with Mixon, Burrow, Chase, obviously. Then on defense, Trey Hendrickson, Jesse Bates. Those are the two big defensive players. Sorry. And on for the Raiders side of the ball, it's going to be hard to stop the Bengals pass rush. And I think their lack of weapons on the outside is going to let the Bengals really get after Derek Carr. And offensively, I think the Raiders don't have the personnel to beat Chase, Boyd, Higgins. Not many teams do. But for the Raiders' sake, it's going to be hard for them to match up well against them and beat them a mano a mano. And at the end of the day, that's what the playoffs is all about, is just out-talenting someone, because execution is probably going to be perfect because it's the playoffs. Everyone's on top of their game. Everyone's giving their best effort. There's no, throwaway games in the playoffs because then you're out. And I think the Bengals win this game, not in a convincing fashion. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Derek Carr, Jacobs, Waller, they keep them close, Renfro. But I think just the fact the Bengals are home, red hot, even though they lost the last game of the year. But Burrow didn't play. And so yeah, we're gonna go Bengals. Chiefs Steelers. This is the Sunday night game. I respect Big Ben for all he's done, but Chiefs. There's no other. Yeah, it's just switched a little bit, but they destroyed them a couple weeks ago, and offensively, the Steelers cannot match up with the Chiefs. I don't care if TJ Watt sacks Mahomes 4 times or 5 times even. Scoring 20 points against the Steelers is a recipe for success, and the Chiefs can do that in 12 minutes, quicker than that sometimes. And I think that after a while, it's going to be hard for the Steelers to just keep up with them, even with like the rumor that Juju's coming back, which would be a great story. But it seems everyone's coming back quickly these days. Look at Cam Akers, torn Achilles in 4 months, 5 months? It's crazy how these athletes come back nowadays. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs here. Pretty convincing. They're a high favorite, I think 12 points it is, 12 and a half. I would, if I'm a sports bettor, I'm taking the points for the Steelers. But I don't even know if I would say that. Maybe because it's a playoff game, I'd say that. But they should win this game convincingly, the Chiefs. And, they're coming in hot. Everyone was doubting them early on, including me a little bit. The defense was a little shaky, but they figured it out, and I would not want to play them right now. So we're going to do the entire AFC first, and we're going to go to the NFC. So Bengals Titans. Wow. This is a really good game. Comment what you think this game's going to be below. I'm going to be a little hot take-ish here. I'm going to go the Bengals. I think Joe Burrow, he's been in these situations in college before with Chase, and Boyd has been there a couple times, I think with Dalton. Yeah, a couple times. He's been there a while, Boyd. T. Higgins is a rookie, not a rookie, sorry. But he's young. Mixon's been there a while. I don't know how much playoff experience he truly has, but he's been around enough to know how to win. And I think it's a tough task, obviously. The Titans know how to win, but I just think Derrick Henry's not going to truly be himself yet. And because of that, I think the Bengals can outscore the Titans in like a slugfest, like 42-35. Also, the Titans might be a little rusty coming off a bye week. But I think the Bengals go in there and win. I think that their star power on offense will be enough to overcome whatever Derrick Henry is going to give them on defense, and as well as A.J. Brown, what Tannehill can give you. What Julio Jones still has, I guess, he's kind of shelled himself at this point. But it just shows, I think that the game is getting young again and experience is mattering less and less. So I think that applies here, and I think that's why Burrow and the Bengals get to the AFC Championship game. You heard it here first. Okay, moving on to the next game is Bills-Chiefs. I think this is possibly outside of the Super Bowl, the game of the playoffs, because Josh Allen's coming. He's coming up really fast, and he's really starting to establish himself as like an easy pick for a top 5 quarterback. And like you can argue like Herbert, Burrow, Lamar, I guess. I have strong feelings on Lamar Jackson. Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, all these guys. But you notice when you talk about top 5, it's always Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and then 5 is the one up for debate. And when guys start to question if you're top 5, like they always want to like, oh, Herbert, oh, he's great because he's better than Allen. That shows how great you are. And I think he's entering that conversation. So with all that being said, I think the Chiefs win this game. I think Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, they're on a warpath right now. And they heard the noise. They never lost confidence, but they heard the noise. They heard, oh, like dynasty doesn't exist, this and that. Like they'll never be what they want. I mean, I don't think anyone said that, but they heard like, oh, down year. Oh, it happens to the best of them. Big contract from Mahomes gonna lead to the downfall of everyone else. It's not the case, and I think Mahomes gets it done in a not low scoring game, but it's not gonna be as high scoring as people think, just because of the nature of what this game means and how closely knit is going to be and how like tightly wound, like clean is going to be played. Not a lot of penalties should be in this game. So I think Kansas City comes out on top and play the Bengals in the AFC Championship game, where I think the Chiefs win again. I think the Bengals are on a similar run that the Titans were on a couple years ago with Tannehill, where they got hot at the end of the year when no one saw it coming. I think that the Bengals in the future will be better than the Titans are now because of how young Burrow is. Tannehill was kind of like a resurrection in a way, and I think that Burrow's not even close to his ceiling, which is scary. So, but I think right now the Chiefs know how to win a little bit more than the Bengals. Bengals got to go to Arrowhead to win this game. They already beat the Chiefs, so beating them twice is really tough. So I'm going to go the Chiefs here in a good game. I think the Chiefs win by a touchdown, maybe 8, 9 points, just for the fact that, again, like beating the Chiefs once is hard, let alone twice. And then come playoff time, it gets colder. Chiefs have been there before, Bengals haven't. And I said before, experience is a little overrated right now, but I'm taking experience here only for the fact that the Chiefs probably have more talent than the Bengals as well, all around. So we're gonna go Chiefs. So they're the first Super Bowl team. Now let's head on to the NFC. Niners Cowboys, my brother's Cowboys against my uncle's Niners. Close game. Two very evenly matched teams. I see a lot of people are picking the Niners nowadays, like last couple of days, because of like I just think with the Niners, everyone talks about like big win against the Rams, but they've owned the Rams. So like I'm not surprised they beat them. Like they just have their number for some reason, and I think the Rams are a pretty flawed team, as well as basically everyone but the Packers in the NFC. I think is very flawed. I think none of them really um what's the term? None of them are perfect. No one's perfect, but like none of them are as complete. But I think if any team were to be as complete right now, I think it'd be Dallas because if they can run the ball, and I'm not, and people say, oh, they can't run. Zeke's washed. They also got Tony Pollard. If you want to say Zeke's washed, then mention Tony Pollard and what he's done, and CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper and Dak quietly had 37 touchdowns and 10 picks. And I know 6-0 against the NFC East, but you know what? There's a playoff team in that division outside of Dallas, and they're playing the Bucks later in this weekend as well. So I don't take that into consideration as much, and I think Micah Parsons, Randy Gregory, and DeMarcus Lawrence will be too much for Jimmy G. And I think because of that, they won't be able to hang with the Cowboys offense because I don't know if the Niners corners can guard CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper and Dalton Schultz as well. Fred Warner is a very good player, but when you are the third option and you're worried about like Lamb, Cooper, even this guy Cedric Wilson, those two guys in the backfield as well. See what you want about Zeke. He was a 1,000-yard rusher this year. So I'm going to pick Dallas here. I might be in the minority when I say Dallas. I don't know why, but close game, very close game. Probably the best game of wildcard weekend in the NFC. But I think that they get this done in a close game, and questions will rise about Jimmy G again. Don't really know why. You want to take a shot on a rookie? Hats off to you. I just don't know if you're going to get the same production. The ceiling is probably higher for Trey Lance, but the chance of him hitting that ceiling aren't as high as people think, but that's for another day, another conversation. So right now we're going to go Dallas. Cardinals, Rams, I have no idea because I don't like either team. I think both of these teams are so flawed, and I think that both of these teams have major issues right now. But I'd probably go the Rams because of McVay. I think that McVay, he's been to a Super Bowl. Cliff Kingsbury has proven to falter late in seasons, and he's done it again this year. They were undefeated for like 8, 9 weeks. I forget what their exact record was, and now they're in the 5th spot. Like they don't even have a home playoff game. And I think that the Rams are going to scheme their way to points. Stafford's, I don't know if he's better than Kyler, but I think defensively they're better than the Cardinals are, and I think because of that, the Rams get the win. Moving on to Bucks Eagles, I don't think the Eagles have enough in the tank to really, stay with the Bucks. I think Fournette and Bernard are back, or they're practicing at least, so they should be close. the Eagles have to run the ball. And if they can't do that, it's a wrap because Brady's going to throw all over them. If Fournette's back, they're going to run too. And the Eagles have to win in one certain way. They're like the Patriots. I think Mac Jones and Jalen Hurts are not similar in like the way they play, but like if you were to rank them, they're pretty close together. So I'd go Tampa Bay here. There's the better team. The Eagles haven't beaten the playoff team this year yet. I don't know if people knew that. Not like it's a good year for them no matter what because they always pick to win 4 or 5 games, including me. I picked them to win 4 or 5 games. Um, so I'm gonna go Tampa Bay here. So moving on to the next round. Rams Packers. Packers. I don't like the Rams. I think Matt Stafford isn't a clutch quarterback and he hasn't proven it yet. So Green Bay. I think that Packers are clicking. Rodgers is playing at a high level, and they're getting key defensive players back like Jair Alexander. Zadarius Smith, I believe, is coming back. On the offensive side, Bakhtiari is coming back, so their O-line gets stronger. Aaron Jones is getting healthier. Adams is back. They got Lazard, Scantling, who are like good role players, like receiving wise. And I think what's important when it gets cold is A.J. Dillon. Everyone made fun of the pick a couple years ago. That dude is not fun to tackle. Like that is a lot of human coming at you. Like you try to wrap that guy up in 10 degrees on his 20th carry, I'm good. I'd rather sit here and talk about it. So I'm gonna pick Green Bay for this game. I don't think the Rams have enough. Moving on, Cowboys Bucks. Really hard to pick against Brady, but I'm going to. I think Dallas is right now healthier, even though Bucks are getting healthy. I think to beat Brady, you have to get pressure up the middle. And the Cowboys have done a really good job of doing that this year. Now it's going to be tough. Going to Tampa Bay isn't the biggest home field advantage, but they hung with them early in the year. Like first game of the year, it was like I think it came down to a field goal. And the Cowboys weren't really like the team they are now with Micah Parsons like clicking. And if he can get to Brady, it's gonna be a rough day for Brady, like trying to get the ball to his receivers. I know Evans is a little banged up, but this will be a week in advance, so we know more about that. I think that the Cowboys can take advantage of the Bucks secondary being not like as like pristine as like some of these teams like the Packers, like Rasul Douglas all of a sudden is an all pro and they're getting Jair back. So I think because of that, Dallas has a slight advantage at the moment. It's really hard to pick against Brady. He's probably going to make me eat my words with this one, but I'm going to pick Dallas here. And the NFC Championship game, Cowboys Packers, I'm picking the Packers. I think just right now it's hard for any of these teams to beat Green Bay in the NFC because of how well-rounded they are and how many ways they can beat you. Like I said, Dallas outside of Green Bay is probably the most complete team, but I think just Green Bay has more talent. Like I think Rodgers is better than Dak. Adams is the best receiver out of both teams. Running backs are pretty close. I think Zeke's very comparable to Dillon. I think Zeke's a better Dillon. I think Aaron Jones is a better Pollard. Defensively, Jair Alexander is probably better than Diggs, even though he's coming back from a big injury. On the line, it's very close. Micah Parsons is probably the best defender out of the two teams, to be honest. And it's tough to – the O-lines are both good. They're really evenly matched teams. So this will be a close game. Hopefully it doesn't come down to a would-be catch again. Sorry, all Cowboys fans. I think it was a catch. Comment what you think below. You guys all know what I'm talking about. So I think Green Bay wins this game, and they go to the Super Bowl. So we got Packers-Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Little old-school matchup. Super Bowl, I think it was 1 and 2. So I'm going to go the Chiefs. Like I said, Mahomes on a warpath. I think they're kind of scary right now because they haven't truly clicked on offense yet. And that's terrifying for the league because if they get going against the Steelers again and then they make a statement against the Bills and the Bengals and they get going, nobody can stop them. And then defensively they're playing well. That's going to be a rough game for any of these teams. Mahomes, outside of Rodgers, probably is the best quarterback in this in the AFC, and probably outside of Rodgers and Brady. I got to throw in Brady all the time. So he's definitely the best quarterback in the AFC. And I mean, you kind of splitting hairs with Rodgers, Brady, Mahomes. They're top three. You can't really argue that. And I think because of that, Mahomes on kind of like a mission like Rodgers was last year, except until like the NFC Championship game, unfortunately. Mahomes starting to peak. I think I'm a believer in momentum in the playoffs over experience. And I think Mahomes starting to peak with experience and momentum, it's going to be hard to stop that train. And Green Bay, as good as they are, can be beat up the middle, something they've been very vulnerable to. If this could be one of those Clyde games when he's got like 160 yards for no reason. But it's got to get to this point, obviously. That's all I got. Comment what you guys think that the results are going to be. If you think my picks are good, bad, what your Super Bowl predictions were, what they were before the year. Mine were completely different. I had like the Browns in here. I had the Ravens in here. I had the Vikings in here. Like I missed a lot, but hopefully I don't miss on this one. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I know I did. And without further ado, just thank you guys for listening. And I will let you guys know on my sports account at RD Sports Blog on Instagram what my next video will be and what it will be about. I just want to get this out before the game starts, so this should be out on the Friday before. So thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you guys next week or whenever I see you guys. So peace out.